Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to call this part 2 of the Volkswagen Bug Sniper EFI system install. So let's dive into it. Alright guys, as we talked in the part 1 video, I've got the throttle body on. Went ahead and had the fuel lines underneath the car that we showed in the end of part 1 video. So there was 2 lines coming in. We had those 2 right here. There and there. We've got a feed line and a return line. So the feed line comes in into the the pressure regulator comes in. We're going to make those adjustments at the regulator from Holley right here. As soon as we get the fuel pump energized, it comes out and now it's regulated fuel pressure and goes directly to the throttle body. The return dumps whatever pressure that it's not using, as you can see right here. Get it to focus. The return back to the tank. So as we talked yesterday, the EFI will turn the fuel over and send it back to the tank over and over until it needs it for demand. So got that regulator installed. So now we're going to start tying into the wire harness. So we'll get that started. All right guys, got the main harness for the Sniper plugged in. That pulls off a couple of leads. You got a yellow wire that goes to the negative of the coil. You got a pink wire that goes to switched hot. You've got a harness here that has a relay built into it for the fuel pump and a master fuse. You've got a main wire that goes in with the hot and the ground directly to the battery. You always want to go directly to the battery with those. And then under here, I've got the actual, you can see where my finger's at, the feed wire going up to the handheld. So I've got all those in, got those hooked up. Got the fuel pressure regulator all installed. Got those hooked to the coil on this car, negative coil and switched hot. All right, got the blue wire from the main harness in the back, chasing the fuel lines all the way up, and got that hooked to the positive side of the fuel pump. Again, we've got a pre-filter, a pump, and a post filter for that system. I've got some other wires under here that you may see. I'm actually putting the Holley Dash in it as well on top of the Sniper. I've got that mocked up, but I'm not going to have that hooked up for the initial start. You can see I've got some stuff mocked up here. This is actually the Holley Dash that will go, give me 1 second, we'll go right there for a final install. That's got the GPS speedometer, the tach, all the gauges and everything. This is a monitor only. It's not a tuner. So right now I've got this just hooked up, all but the hot ground and switched hot to the dash. I've got everything everything else hooked up, but we'll actually be leaving the actual handheld tuner in the glove box. That's what we actually go in and run the wizard and make those changes with, is the actual handheld tuner, but the actual monitored dash will be here on display. All right, so I'm going to do a once over here in a few minutes, and then we'll put some gas in it and see if we can set up the wizard. All right, guys, went over everything, did a final check. Got all the wiring hooked up like it's supposed to be. Sorry about the lighting. Got everything going to what it's supposed to. I've got the hot wire with the key on a Volkswagen. That's off the positive side of the coil. I've got the negative side of the coil hooked up to the yellow wire, which is the trigger for the ignition signal. I have turned the key on and pressurized everything and made sure no fuel leaks at the regulator, the throttle body, through the lines, or at the fuel pump. No leaks anywhere. So I'm going to take you around and we'll show you this is the screen that we have set up here. This is just the tuning screen. This screen will be another day when we set that up. It's going to be a little bit more detailed as far as setting up all the parameters. So we're going to turn the key to on. System is going to power up. You can hear the fuel pump purging or priming. I've got everything there. We're going to get the key a hit. And she's running. This shows several things. It shows the battery voltage coming off the generator. It shows the coolant temperature sensor, which is right now, that's the sensor back there in the piece of engine tin. It's showing what it would consider operating temperature. That's our air-fuel ratio. That's our tachometer with another tach signal. And it's showing it's in open loop because the temperature hasn't reached a preset temperature setting that we put in the computer. But the car, once we get the throttle cable hooked up, we'll be able to take it out and drive it, let it do some learning, and we're gonna have a EFI tuned little Volkswagen. All right, guys, decided to go ahead and dive into it a little bit and hooked up the Holley Pro Dash. Let's take a look at that. All right, guys, got this installed. Obviously, you can see the tach's working. The temperature sensor from the back is working. There's my air-fuel ratio. There's my voltage. The speedometer works off of this GPS location signal that's not going to work inside the shop. But there's the Holley Pro Dash screen installed, and a little fine tuning. I think it's going to be right. Hey guys, I appreciate you tuning in and watching me do this little modification to my Bug. Things like this are a lot of fun to work on, and you know, it's an expensive upgrade, but it's something that should make a big improvement over the drivability and the efficiency of the engine long term. So appreciate you tuning in and watching. If you've got any questions, feel free to comment. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.